We've looked at inserting pictures. The next thing we're going to take a look at is how to insert shapes. There are a lot of neat things that you can do with shapes. So the first thing we're going to do is insert a shape. I'm going to insert this one, and then notice I have a new tab. My Format tab appears, and from here I can edit my shapes. I'm going to first add a couple of more shapes because I want you to notice a couple of things about these shapes. I'm going to select this star. There we go. Now you notice that in this one there is a yellow square. There's one located here for this one. The arrow has two, the cylinder has one, and this basic shape doesn't have any whatsoever. So let's take a look at how they affect the shape itself. On this one, when I click and rotate it, you can see what it does to the image. This one, you can either use this to adjust the head of the arrow, or you can do this one to adjust the thickness of the arrow. Move that out of the way. Move this one out of the way. Actually, I'm going to delete that. I don't need it right now. On this one here with the scroll, when I click on it, you can see how it alters the shape of the scroll. This one doesn't have one. And then with the star, you can see how it edits or alters the appearance of the star. Alright, let's insert another shape. I'm going to go with the star. And then I want these points to be a little bit sharper. So there we go. Now we have some options to fill in the color that we want. We can go with these shape styles. You can select any one of these. But what I prefer to do is to create my own. I can go to solid fill. I can select my color here if I want. I can go to more colors. I can specify the color that I want. Or I can go to gradient fill. Now gradient fill is a lot of fun, and you can specify it any way that you want. Now I have multiple colors here because I edited these gradient stops. So what I'm going to do is delete these, and I'm going to get down to just one gradient. What you can do is you can insert a gradient stop, so click anywhere that you want. After you do that, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to select a color. Now I can move this gradient stop up or down between these two colors, or I can move it all the way out, and you can see the effect that it has. If I want to insert another one, let's say I make this one yellow, well, now you see the effect that this has on my picture. And I can move this down and move it into the center. So you can really adjust the gradient to appear the way that you want it to be. The path, you can change it to linear, radial, which kind of gives this circular effect, rectangular, which creates these sharp rectangular angles there, or we can just go to path, which that looks good. Now if I want to, I can change the direction, but notice I cannot change the direction on path. But if I go to rectangular, now I can change the direction. I can change the direction to where it is. Now the yellow is over here. Now it's going to be up there or over here. But I'm going to go back to my path because that's the one I like. You can also change the transparency of certain gradients. I can click on this one, and then I can change the transparency of it. And I can make it lighter or darker, or I can also make it brighter or lighter. So there's a lot that you can do. You can, if you can visualize how you want the gradient to look, you can create it. It's a really nice tool and feature with shapes. Okay, next let's take a look at how you insert a picture into a shape. So go to Insert, select your shape. I'm going to go with this right here. And then I'm going to go to Fill, Picture. And you can see that I've got some white area here and here and here that this doesn't quite fill the whole shape. So you have options over here to accommodate that. So I'm going to push this all the way over to the left, push that over to the right, then I'm going to go up and go down. And now my image fills the entire shape. The next thing I can do is change the outline. So first off, let's change the weight of the outline so that it's a little bit more pronounced. And let's go with a contrasting color here. That kind of works, but I think it could be a lot better. And we can go with that. Now let's take a look at our last two options for filling a shape. They are texture and pattern fill. For texture, you select right here and you select the texture that you want. And again, you can change the transparency of it to a level that is desirable to you. There are just limited options, I'd say, but those are some of the options you can use. The next one is a pattern fill. This means there are two colors that you can choose. One will be the foreground, one will be the background. So for the foreground, I'm going to select this, and then for the background, something kind of light. I'll go with this. And then as you move the cursor over these, you can see the pattern names. So if I wanted you to do dark downward diagonal, then that's what that would look like. Okay, let's insert another shape. Just go with this arrow. I'm going to tilt it a little bit. Then next we're going to go to Shape Effects, Bevel, and 3D Options, because I want to open this up so we can take a look at it. First thing we're going to do is select a bevel option. We can go with this one. You can modify the bottom level if you want, as far as that looks. You can change the depth, the contour, the material, or the lighting. The lighting is how the light source comes in. So in this one here, you can see it's especially bright, so the camera angle or the camera lighting would be coming in from this way. Let's take a look at 3D rotation. These are the presets. You can click on these and see how they affect the image. If you want, you don't have to go by the presets. You can use the X rotation here to go in the direction you want. You can rotate it amongst the Y-axis or even the Z-axis. And you can also change the perspective of the 3D image. So let's say you want to add some text to a shape. So I'm going to have an arrow right here. And if I wanted to add text, all I have to do is begin typing. I can select the text. I can change the font size. That'll work. And I can change the font color. If I want to, I can press Control D to have more control over my font. And that's how you insert text into a shape. Now sometimes you might insert a shape and you may have made some changes to it. So let's say I put in this arrow and I change the shape. Now I want to add some text. Notice that it changed directions. It went back to the default setting. That's not a problem because once you click off of it, it'll go back to the way that it was and the text will stay there. When you add text to a shape, you have all the flexibility that you had when you worked with fonts and applied these effects to them. To see this, let's go to Shapes. Let's insert a heart. And let's type Happy Mother's Day. And let's change the font to Algerian. Let's change the font size to 42. And we can select this. And then let's go to Text Effects and let's go with Reflection. And we'll go with this. And then we want to change the fill color to red. And there you go. When we were working with shapes, we looked at a way to add text. One way was to draw the shape and begin to type, and your text is automatically inserted. But there's also another way to insert text. Click on Insert, then Word Art, then select the type that you want. And I'm going to change the fill color to yellow, the outline effect to purple, and just click off of it. When you click on it again, it brings back the Format tab, and I'm going to bring this down here, and we're going to Text Effects, and we looked at shadow, reflection, glow, reveal, and 3D rotation. We've done that, but this one is new, and it's Transform. When you move your cursor over the options, you can see that it will display what your text will look like if you select that option. I'm going to select this one, Wave 1. Now when I resize it, notice it resizes the text. I also have two different handles here. I've got this pink one and this other one. This one will change the curve of the wave, and this one will change the angle of the text. So if I move it this way, it tilts it forward, this tilts it back, and I would rather have it more like this. So now I'm going to move this text up here. The next thing I want to do is insert a banner. So I'll go with this one. And I want to change the fill color of this. I want to add a gradient. But I don't like that color, so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to change these colors to purple and yellow. I want to make it purple and black. So now I have my banner. And if I want to, it's currently set to linear. I can change the direction of it where it's going to be more here, where my black's going to be over here and the purple more over here. I can add more black to it if I want, or I can add more purple to it. I can also change the angle. So I just get a little bit of black here, and I've got this, and I think I'm going to move the black over a little bit more. And that should be good enough. Next, I'm going to move my text over to here. And notice that the text is now behind that image. If I were to right click on this, I've now selected my banner and I want to send it to back. When I send it to back, my text is here and I can relocate my text. Now I want to change the content of the text box. And click off of it, and so now I've got my banner. Now I have the word art on top of a shape. But when I move my shape, it moves away from the word art. And when I click on the word art and move the word art, it moves away from the shape. So there's a way to put the two together. The way to do this is to first of all select this, then hold down the control key, and then select the banner. Then you right click, go to group, and group. Now when I move this, the two are together. If at any time you want to work with the two items independently, you go to ungroup, and now your items are ungrouped. Another nice feature to word art is that you can insert pictures with your word art. So I'm going to put this in here so that it looks like this, and then I'm going to move it down here and place it. And then I'm going to ungroup these. I want to bring this down here. So now I'm going to select this, hold down the control key, select that, and select that, then right click and group. Now when I move my banner, everything is together. If I decide that I don't like this and I want to get rid of it, I would just I would right click, group, ungroup, and now I can grab this image there we go, and get rid of it.